It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.
Yeah, and good evening, and welcome to the Conjugal Visit Show. You're on KGFRocks.com, and like every Sunday night, man, we've been doing it right, man, 25 weeks in a row. Wait a minute, we've missed one weekend in 25 weeks, man.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and we smashed the 3,000 listen barrier this last week with our last interview. I mean, yeah. I'm telling you, man, it just was awesome, man. It was a great show, and a lot of people showed up to watch it. But what's important is a lot of people went back to listen. So if you ever miss one of our shows, you can go back and listen to them. Hey, I'm here with my good friend Guido.
Yes.
Mr. Guido. Yeah, don't take offense. I didn't mean anything by it, man.
I'm not taking offense.
Don't get all angry and shit. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty fair. Kicking back. It's still hockey season for me here in St. Louis, so it's kind of nerve-wracking. They're playing the San Jose Sharks, and
it's barely hockey season.
Yeah, for you, it's over. I mean, you know, poor Buffalo.
Yeah.
Can't get a break. They're gonna have a good season next year, I think. Though I think
that's
they're
what
good.
They say every fucking year.
I think Buffalo's got a shot this time. Didn't they just get a new coach or something?
Did they? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they got a new
I mean, they got a new owner. I know that.
They got a new owner? Well, I'm sure they got a new coach. I mean, think about it. You're fired.
The same gentleman that owns the Buffalo Bills owns the Sabres, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Pagula, so...
Yeah.
He's got money.
He's got money, yeah. Coming out of his ass.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. Yeah. He's what? He's British?
He's rich.
Oh, he's rich. He's rich. I was going to say the British owner of a hockey team.
He's freaking from Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania.
Ah, okay.
But his
Hershey
wife's
company.
from Buffalo.
Hershey country. Chocolate.
Yeah, the Hershey Squirts.
Hershey Squirts.
Did you ever get those?
Yeah, occasionally I have. I've gotten the Hershey Squirts. It's
they're
disgusting.
Fun,
yeah, they're a lot of fun. You cannot wipe your ass enough. It just ain't happening. Time for a shower.
Yeah, it's just, whatever. Then if you got a hairy behind, it just gets all stuck in there.
Yeah, and that's what Conjugal Visits has come to, talking about the Hershey Squirts.
And the Dingleberries.
Hey, so let me ask you this, man. Your mom is like my age, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you feel if she dated a 25-year-old?
She kind of almost did at one point. Not that, that young. But, yeah, I guess he was that young. So, whatever. It's her life. So why are you dating a 25-year-old?
No, my question comes because I know this friend of mine who is dating this one gal that's significantly old. She's almost 19 years older than he is, and her family is just giving her nothing but fucking grief.
Well, you know what? Because people just don't think it could work out that way. But I have an aunt, or my uncle. He was like in his 40s when he married his wife, and she was 19.
Wow!
And they were together till the day he died.
Right.
Like almost 80 something. So they were together like 40 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So when he died, she was like 60 or what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that wouldn't matter. I mean, I guess it works out. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just don't understand some people's philosophy on that, that they don't like it and it's wrong.
I think some people are just, what the norm of what everybody has been taught through their whole life is that's bad. But we've also been taught that if you are a man, you go in the men's room, and if you're a girl, you go in the female room. But right now, that's not going to be the case anymore.
No, but you know what? Outhouses were always that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing that. Outhouse has been that way for decades, for years.
Yeah, dude.
And it's that way in your house. I mean, you take a leak in the same bathroom that your wife brushes her teeth in, right?
But not at the same time.
Well, no.
So
really? No?
So basically,
you wouldn't go in there and piss while the old lady's brushing her teeth?
Well, yeah, I would, but that's my wife. But right now what's going to happen is a young girl can go to the bathroom, and an old perv can go in there too.
Right.
And get away with it.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to bring in MJ. Is that all right with you?
My wife wants to know if that's why you're all for the gender neutrality bathroom.
No, I'm not for it.
So that you can go, your old perv ass can go in there.
Yeah. No, I'm not into that. I am not into that. I am completely against it. I mean, I wouldn't mind if some hot chick came in and took a piss in the men's room. I've seen that before at bars. When the women's room, there's a line, and there's no line at the guys' restroom because we're just, we spritz and we go. They have to prim and prep and wipe deeply and whatever else, and then it takes them forever.
And we go.
Yeah, we spritz and we go. We're done. That's it. We fucking, if you shake it more than 3 times, you're playing with the fucking thing. Put it away.
If a woman spritz and she was on her month,
it'll all run down her leg and shit. We don't want that.
Would that be a wine spritzer?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I
just wondering,
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, MJ.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good. Guido's talking about, we're talking about potty tonight a lot. And we've had, we've been talking about, Guido has.
Did you say potty?
Yeah, we're into potty. We're being potty mouths today.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, what we were talking about was age differences in relationships.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm assuming as liberal as you are, as free loving as you are, I mean, it doesn't matter to you, right?
Age is just a number.
Age is just a number. So if your 80-year-old grandmother were to begin dating a 30-year-old man, that wouldn't bother you?
Well, it depends.
I mean, doesn't that seem a little bit odd?
Well, it would be odd because I would think that the 30-year-old guy would be trying to get money off of her.
Ah, a gold digging dude.
What if she didn't have money?
She didn't have money, nothing to offer him monetary wise, and he actually took care of her. Then I would say they have a love for each other. I don't know.
Kiss actually had a song back in the early 70s, which was very controversial at the time. It was called "Going Blind," and it was about a 93-year-old man dating a 16-year-old girl.
That's weird.
That's perverted there. There's got to be a limit. I mean, what would the limit be for?
I don't know if they were dating.
For dating,
he was just infatuated with this 16-year-old. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But that probably happens.
I mean, a lot of girls like older men.
I know that love is love. Like
love
is when you fall in love with someone, you fall in love with them, and I guess
right. Well, there's love, and then there's love. Is there?
Okay, I'm 4 years older than Hooligan.
Okay.
And I think in some ways he knows a lot more than I do, even though he's younger, and I learn a lot from him. And there's things that I know that I think that he learns from me. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily think it makes an actual big difference. 4 years.
No, 4 years don't.
No. But no, 4 years is not.
However, that's a different story. My mom is 11 years older than my dad.
Really? Okay, so you come from a long line of younger.
They like to be cougars in my family.
Long line of cougars. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Long line of cougars.
No, I think
Well, what do you think is worse? Let's say it's a 16-year-old boy and a 24-year-old girl, or a 16-year-old girl and a 24-year-old boy.
it's both bad because they're both whoever's 16 is underage. And
Thank
they get in
you.
trouble.
Thank you. I was sexually assaulted there.
I was too.
Did you catch that? I was sexually assaulted. If it happened today, what happened to me?
Was it your babysitter?
When I was 16, no, it wasn't my babysitter. When I was 16 is when I lost it, and I lost it to a 24-year-old woman. If that were to happen now, and it got out, she'd go to prison.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me when I lost my virginity. An older guy, and I didn't know he was older. And I kind of felt cheated on that, but when you're 15 or 16, even though you're an adolescent, you still know right from wrong.
Well,
you know what
I
you're doing,
dated
so.
when I was 16. I was with a 24-year-old woman, and she had 3 kids and everything. But I didn't lose my virginity. I lost that way before that.
I mean, when would you start to question it, Guido? At 10 years difference, 15 years difference, 20 years difference?
Again, it's a situation because look at Bill Wyman. Bill Wyman's like 108, and his wife are like
In their 30s and 20s, yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what's his name? Howard Hughes, not Howard Hughes.
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner. Yeah, that's the guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I don't know how any of those girls would sleep with them. Like, he seems so frail.
It's called money.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even money, man. I'm good. I'd rather be poor.
Do you know? Speaking now that we got onto the Playboy topic here, that 2 things are happening in the Playboy world.
Yeah, they
One,
stopped doing nudes.
No more nudes, and the mansion's up for sale.
I heard
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, he's done. He's getting ready to cash out, so he's gonna. He's been. I don't think he has been affiliated with the making of Playboy in the last 10, 15 years. I think
No, his
he's been
daughter
done.
runs the company.
Yeah, his daughter runs Playgirl and Playboy.
They're still going to do like nudes on online, and have their whole Playboy.com like that. But the actual magazine is not. It's going to be nudity free. It's going to be more like a Maxim magazine,
Right,
so
a men's magazine, a gentleman's magazine.
Sell to more people.
Well, you know what? A lot of men find that that's more seductive than a full nude.
I don't.
I like it. I like when I look at adult magazines and such. I like them partly clothed.
My favorite's Hustler.
Hustler. Yeah.
The hustler on the go.
Larry Flint is actually a very we owe a lot to Larry Flint because he battled censorship, and you might not like his magazine, but he pushed the limits of censorship. It even got him shot.
Yeah, it did. Got him shot. Some right wing wacko came along and shot his ass, and that's not. I mean, that's not cool. But at the same time, I mean, he turned into a very ugly person because of his assassination attempt.
Well, he's paralyzed. He's confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of some.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too. Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
His wheelchair's made of gold.
Yeah.
Well,
He's got the money.
He's got more money than Davy Crockett. I mean,
I don't think Davy Crockett had much money.
Oh no, Davy Crockett. Now there's a misnomer. I was watching this thing on the military channel, and they do these shows about facts and fiction about America and the people in it. And Davy Crockett was one rich motherfucker. He was extremely rich, and he was a U.S. senator.
Oh.
Yep, he was a U.S. senator before of course, he lost the second election, but he was only senator for one term. But he was a U.S. senator, and so yeah, he was absolutely.
Who played Davy Crockett in the show in the 50s? Do you remember?
In the 50s, Fess Parker.
That's right.
Fess Parker. Yeah.
Fess Parker.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
MJ
I
did
love
know.
you guys. You guys make me feel so young, and I just love it.
Me and you
You're
are
dating
about the
older men.
We're the same age.
Yeah. You and Guido are the same age.
Are we?
Yeah, I'm the old man here.
No, I am not 41.
You're getting close. Don't lie.
Whatever.
You're holding on to your 30s like death sucking on a lifesaver.
I fucking am, and I fucking hate it. Let's back to the age thing. Okay. I think the age thing does become a problem, though, as you get older.
Right.
Because, okay, let's say Guido marries a woman in her 40s. Okay, let's say Guido marries an older woman.
Okay.
And she's
Ooh.
she's 39 and you're 24.
Okay.
All right, as you get older, are you going to still find her attractive when she's 60?
Depends on how much money she has.
What if she has no money and nothing to offer?
There's the door, honey. Take your AARP card and get the fuck out.
So you wasted what could have been 20 years of her fucking life.
Well, you end up married to your mother.
How do you waste, though? No, if you had a good 20 years and you part because, come on, let's face it. If she's
That's like Melanie Griffin and what's his face, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was like Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson too. Melanie Griffith was 16 or 17 when she started dating Don Johnson, and he was already almost 30.
Yeah.
So I mean, she just must like that age difference,
And she hasn't aged well, so I don't
No,
know.
Daddy, don't.
God, no, she's horrid looking. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, not to be mean or anything.
But she got ugly. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's where it comes in is like as you get older and the person is still young, they're not going to want to do the same things together. Like, when you're young, you're energetic, you want to go places, do things. As you get older, you just want to sit in front of the TV and do shit.
But I think it's different if it's here, and I know this sounds sexist or whatever, but I think it's more common for a younger woman to be with an older man than it is the other way around. Because men, they don't change. They get older, but they still are kind of childish their whole life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where the women get more mature. So I think it's more common for the younger woman to be with the much older man than the other way around.
You're probably right. I think I have seen more women.
I think because of society's limitations, I think it's reversed. I think it's more men, older men with younger women than older women with younger men. Mainly because it just I don't know if it's acceptable for the women.
No, it's
They keep it a secret, don't they?
well, most of the younger women that are with the older men have daddy issues.
Yeah.
Most women lie about their age.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
And you got to get a hold of an ID to find out exactly how old a girl is.
Well, no, that's true too. I mean, on both ends of the spectrum. If because you could be at a club. Say you're at an all ages concert venue and you're 24 and you meet some girl and she says she's 18 and she's not. How do you fucking know?
You don't. You have to ID the girl.
Right, and that's so stupid because that's why I don't think those bars that do the all ages concerts it shouldn't happen because you're in a bar atmosphere drinking. The adults are drinking alcohol and the underage.
Along with the children. Yeah, I've always had a problem with those things.
Right.
It doesn't make any
It
sense.
feels awkward to be smoking a joint next to a 5-year-old. So
Right.
Oh,
You
it's
don't
extreme.
do
Well, truth be, I could have been busted for child abuse myself for smoking weed in my house. I mean, when my kids
everybody
were
could
younger, today it would be. Back then, it's why do you do that? Today, it's like you're going to jail.
Right.
We're taking your kids into custody.
Everything's now you're going to jail. I remember 20, 30 years ago, if you got pulled over by a cop drinking and driving, he would drive you home or
Yeah. Or he'd follow you home.
And now you're going to jail. You're costing a lot of you're going to pay a lot of money.
Yeah, your lawyer's a fortune.
Right, and it's is that good? Yes, I think that's a good thing, Dia, because I don't think anybody should drive while they're fucking smashed because
they shouldn't.
More people have, and this is why it's stupid because more people have died from alcohol related issues than by like narcotics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and 60% of those killed in DUI accidents are not the drinkers.
No, they mostly stay alive.
They absorb it, and their body is they do get killed, but more people are victims of drunk driving,
Sure.
and that's why I think they got really stupid on the law. I mean, not stupid, but really strong on the law for DUI. I can't stand DUI. I think it's a curse, and I think it's a disease that needs to be fixed. And
when I had my ran my bar, we used to give out, and we used to pay for them, but it only cost us $4. the cab companies give you free cab ride.
Right.
Now it would cost us $4 per ride, but that's all it would cost. So they wouldn't charge the person anything. And the
Right.
cab companies here in Buffalo do that just because they don't want to see people, die.
Yeah.
So all bars should do something like that.
Well, there's a couple of bars here in St. Louis that does it, but all bars do it. The entire St. Louis County Cab Company, they do it on holidays. They'll do it New
holidays
Year's
here, too,
Eve, Christmas
it's
Eve.
free on holidays.
It's free on holidays for a cab.
Right.
And then you can tip the cab driver if you want to, and it goes right in their pocket. So that's a nice thing,
Just drink responsibly, and if you know you're gonna get wasted, have a designated driver with you.
Well, I always judge it on the first beer. If the first beer tastes really good, and it goes down real fast, and it tastes really good, and it's cold, I hand the keys to the old lady. Say, here you go. She goes, you mean I got to drink water? Yeah, I'm afraid so. Here, I'm drinking.
Well, it's cool for me when I go out with my wife because I don't drive, but she don't really drink. So, I mean, it's we go out and she's the designated driver 90% of the time because she doesn't like to drink, and that's fine with me, because then I can and not have to worry about it. But when she does drink, she's responsible enough to make sure that we have a way home.
And that's a good thing.
Right.
It's all a good thing. Okay, so we pretty much narrowed it down to all three of us are okay with older women and older men dating younger partners.
I'm okay with anybody dating whoever they want as long as they're happy.
And as long as they're both both of them are of age.
Do you get that sixth sense about someone when you meet them? You just kind of go, oh, I don't know, man. This doesn't seem right.
What do you mean,
Like when when your older aunt or someone is dating someone younger, and you meet them for the first time. I mean, you kind of get that.
You always get a good first impression of somebody. So yeah, if they're not a good person,
Yeah.
they're a good people reader.
But do you say anything? Do you say anything, or you just keep your mouth shut and mind your own
in
business?
my case, I don't say anything because anybody that's brave enough to date any of my aunts, I don't care. They are So
They are out there.
yeah. No,
So
they're
what's-
not out there? They're just nuts, man. They'll kick your
So
ass.
what's this thing on? I saw this thing on Facebook today about, and I don't believe everything that I hear on Facebook, but this thing on is it STP or not Stone Temple Pilots, but
Right,
oh
Chili
gosh,
Peppers.
yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers. The
He
lead
canceled
singer.
the show yesterday. He's in the hospital. They haven't just. Well, I haven't read the news like lately.
They
The
haven't
last I
disclosed.
heard, last I heard, he canceled the concert last night and was suffering from some kind of stomach pain.
Okay.
And he's in the hospital right now. So let's
Okay.
keep him in our prayers.
Yeah, let's think about that guy. Yeah. So
Maybe
he's
it's
a good
appendicitis,
singer.
Food poisoning, it could be anything.
Anthony Kiedis was a huge heroin junkie for a long time, and I don't think he is anymore. But who knows? I mean, he could.
Here we go again. Another one.
Don't bring, why is it that every time a musician gets sick or dies, everyone just jumps on the drug bandwagon?
I'm not jumping on the wagon because I think he still is. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but it could have
I hope not, because heroin's
effects.
bad.
I mean, it could have effects from his prior use. You know what I mean? I mean, you could do heroin and cocaine and whatever for 20 years and then quit for 20 years, and it'll still affect you somehow.
Yeah, it will. That's
So
Right.
I'm just hoping it's not that because those kind of drugs will tear up somebody's stomach or whatever. And I don't think it is. I think he's just he's not a young guy anymore. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
he does have some health issues. They're in their 50s now, I imagine. Most people
Right.
don't realize that the Red Hot Chili Peppers' first album came out in 1984.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around forever, and most people just think they came out in the 90s. No, they were out for 6-7 years,
Oh yeah.
before they hit big.
Yeah, they were you could hear them on KLOS, the Los Angeles radio station back in 85, 86.
Yeah, they were mostly on those college radio stations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they first, I think it was their second album, was produced by George Clinton from Parliament Funk.
Wow.
Well, so
Yeah, no, I got him in my prayers because it would really suck if something bad happened to that guy. This year is not the year for musicians. Like,
I know.
people have died.
And not just people. I mean, huge icons.
People.
Yeah, huge people and young, and some of them very too young to die.
Like
That's
you know,
crazy.
like David Bowie.
Yeah.
David Bowie. Everybody kind of knew it was going to happen once he announced that he had the cancer. So okay, it's going to happen sooner or later. But like Glenn Frey and Prince were like, wow, whoa, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
Glenn Frey was way too soon. I mean,
Right.
you know, he
Prince
had
was
another.
only 57. You know, I mean,
You know, he had another 25 years in him. You know, it just I was I think that was one of the most stunned I was. I knew that David Bowie had cancer,
Right.
but recent reports said that he was doing better.
well,
Uh,
he had cancer for a while. He didn't tell anybody until the end.
Close to the end, yeah.
Right. He kept it a secret, and his whole in today's age, for them to keep it a secret for so long is unusual because you know with social media and the internet, shit. One
Right.
time it gets out there, it's gone. You know what I mean?
It
It's
is gone.
Right, right.
It's so sad though. Lemmy really hit me too.
but see, let me kind of was expected. The dude lived hard.
He did live hard, but
You know
it
what
was
I mean?
it was like 1 minute they diagnosed him, said he was sick, gonna die, and then he
Right.
died like he died on his own terms. I think he just died. He was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I never.
But
You
he
know,
was awesome. Did you get a chance to watch Lemmy on Netflix? It's really good.
no. You know what's a good thing on Netflix? It's called Twisted Motherfucking Sister. It's a documentary on Twisted Sister,
Okay,
and it
I'll
is.
watch Twisted Sister if you watch Lemmy,
I will, and I see.
because
Let
you'll
me.
see how many people were influenced by him.
Oh, I know they were, and here's the thing: is I don't know why. Okay, and just listen to me. He was a very big icon for heavy metal. I mean, needless to say, he was the face of heavy metal. But what did he do? I mean, besides of Ace of Spades, I can't name you another song.
Really?
Really,
Well, I guess you'd have to be a Motorhead fan.
well, I'm not, and I'm not nothing against Motorhead. I was a Fast Eddie Clark fan when the original guitar player. He went on to create Fastway with Pete Way. I liked that, but I could never understand what the fuck Lemmy was saying. It was like, I'm like, oh, I don't know if he's having a convulsion or
You know, I can't argue with you there because okay, when I went to because a while back I went to go see it was Slayer, Megadeth, it was Motorhead. Oh, God, Slipknot was the end of the thing. I went basically for Slipknot, but it was freaking amazing though because I felt like I sat through like a whole 6 songs of Ace of Spades because that's what it sounded like. You know, with the audio and everything, when you're in an outside arena, it just sounded like he was playing that over and over again. So I guess his music does sound the same, like, you know how all Nickelback songs sound the same?
right. And I'm not saying anything bad about him because you know what, in interviews and stuff, he really, you know, pushed the heavy metal envelope and made people aware of what was going on. And he wrote "Mama, I'm Coming Home" with
Yeah,
Ozzy.
he did.
So,
he did.
I mean,
Ozzy
he
were
was
good friends.
yeah, and he was a good songwriter and all that, but he just was like Bob Dylan. It was like
Yeah.
Bob Dylan's the most amazing songwriter ever, but his songs are better when someone else sings them.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
did you guys hear about Knotfest and Ozfest coming together, you guys?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I didn't read about it, but what's that all about?
I am so fucking excited. It's going to be in San Bernardino, California. It's going to be a 2-day event, and you can camp overnight. And it's just like a big clusterfuck of amazing artists. It's going to be like Ozzy's going to open on one day. And by the way, it's going to be the last time anybody can see Black Sabbath
Right,
Right,
live in California. Actually, within the States is what he said.
right.
right.
So, because I think he's about to retire. So he's going to be opening up. We've got like
Disturbed.
Lamb of God. I mean, all kinds of good people.
Killer.
I want to go. And
Yeah.
if you order the tickets now, they're only $40.
I want to go to the other one
For for both days, for 2 days,
No, for each day. So it'd be
for each day,
$80 total,
80
yeah.
bucks for 2 days. That's not bad. Well, they got that Indio concert.
Yeah, that's the one I want to go to.
I'd
Where's
love to go see
at?
that.
Yeah.
California.
Rolling Stone. It's going to be Indio, California, and it's down south there. You know, just I guess west of Bakersfield. It's Indio, California, there by Riverside, San Bernardino area.
Okay, same place where Knotfest is going to be.
Probably about the same place, but it's going to have Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones. Just a clusterfuck of people.
Well, the first day that it's going to be Bob Dylan and the Rolling Stones, Neil Young and Paul McCartney, and then the third day is the Who and Roger Waters.
And Roger Waters, yeah.
Oh, these shows are perfect for you guys. I mean, I love those people too, but
Yeah.
well, you know
It's
what?
at the
I
same
was
place that Coachella's at.
Oh, okay. Coachella, that is an overpriced concert for rich people and celebrities.
Yeah. It's pretty expensive, too.
Well,
It's
this
like
one's not bad. It's only to see all 6 bands for all 3 nights. It's only $100 or $300 or something like that. I think it was $299.
$299. Yeah. That's just for the shows, though. If you want the full package with the hotel and everything, I think it's $2,400.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
that
I
is
wanna
To see
go
Paul McCartney is like $200.
yeah.
He's kind of a douche, isn't he?
Ooh, yes. No, he's not a douche. He's just you know what he is. He's just an old guy that's set in his ways. You know, it's kind of like the Gene Simmons thing. I'm old enough to say what the fuck I want. You know,
Simmons is a fucking idiot.
he is. I agree.
He so fucking hung himself making comments about Prince's death.
Not only
Yeah.
did he hang him, his own partner is pissed off at him, and now there's rumors in the Kiss camp that they might even break up because of this.
Yeah.
Because of what he said about Prince?
Yep.
Yeah. He basically said that Prince's death was pathetic.
Right.
And that because he was a drug addict but the toxicology reports haven't come back. Nothing's come back yet.
He's already made him guilty of using drugs.
Right. And the bottom line is that he wasn't like a fucking heroin user if he was, involved
No,
in drugs.
he popped pain
Chronic-
pillars.
He had chronic pain. You try living with a freaking bum hip and trying to shake your ass on stage every day. Like, you're
Yeah.
and who the hell is Gene Simmons to talk any shit when he's got his own addiction? It's called plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And he looks like shit, by the way.
Yeah.
He does.
He does.
And he has no hair, you know.
And he's so stupid. That guy made me mad.
Well,
Yeah,
Nikki Sixx said today on his or yesterday on his Sixth Sense program that he's no longer his idol anymore. That he's just going to disassociate himself with everything Gene Simmons because of his comments. And it's a shame because I don't really think he meant to be blown up as much. I think he just said what he was thinking instead of what he wanted to say. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
everybody's entitled to their opinion. And
I mean, you
did
shouldn't
Prince
do
die
that,
of natural
though.
causes? No, you shouldn't. But he didn't die of natural causes. I love Prince, but he did not die of natural causes.
No, something happened. I think he had an allergic reaction to something. I think it's something other than the drugs. I really do. I believe that.
He probably will never know, and I'll tell you why. Because unlike the Michael Jackson camp or whatever, Prince is very, very secretive. It was always very secretive.
And you know what? He didn't have a close relationship with his family at all.
He had a close relationship with anybody.
Yeah. He was all business.
He was a very private person.
Very.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. And you know what? I don't think you should rip on anybody. I mean, okay, look, when people have addiction, whether they're addicted to drugs or alcohol or whatever, sometimes they become the devil themselves. They become the shittiest motherfucking people in the world. They'll steal from you. They'll fuck you over. They'll do all these messed up things. But the bottom line is, somewhere deep down inside that person is the person that you knew before they did the drugs or the alcohol. Mm-hmm. And it's not their fault. Like, they have an addiction.
Right.
And it's the addiction that is driving them to do those things. And we have to try to get them help.
Well, like Gene Simmons, he says he never did drugs or alcohol, and that's fine. But his addiction is making money. His addiction is the money that he makes. He's defined by how much money he has. He never has enough. So that's an addiction. It might not be an addiction that's physically harming you, but being that greedy about money can mentally hurt you.
Yeah, he sells everything down to toilet paper with the Kiss logo on it. I mean, that's pretty pathetic.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
You know,
Now
I'm
that's
one of the
pathetic.
biggest fans in the world, and I'm very pissed off at him because I'm also a huge Prince fan. So for me, it was like a slap in the face because instead of idolize it or saying it's pathetic, like what Paul Stanley said, it was a shame that he died. He was such an amazing entertainer and writer. That's it. He left it at that. And that's the way it should have been, I mean.
And I understand where, I guess Gene's trying to say, I just hate drug addicts because, apparently he got fucked over by someone, I don't know, maybe within the band.
Oh, he did.
That was on drugs, right?
Yeah.
But that's still not a reason to hate on everybody that has an addiction. I mean, is Gene Simmons going to hate one of his children when one of his children becomes an addict? Because
and I'm sure they will be, yeah. And, he hates Ace Frehley because Ace Frehley was a big drug addict, and he claims, he lies and says that Ace Frehley kind of ruined things, but he's just the guitar player. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were the voice of the band. So, if anything, he just now ruined the image of Kiss, in my opinion.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the Facebook page or the Twitter, it's just everybody talking shit to him.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
And he put out a pathetic apology.
And that wasn't until Paul Stanley apologized first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Paul
you don't even know, and you're already casting judgment.
Yeah, the moral of the story is you need to think before you speak. Is this going to get me in trouble? Is this going to offend people?
Right.
And do I care? Because you can't do that in the public eye and not get, your ass.
Well, you can't because it's music, and there's probably more Kiss fans than me that also like Prince.
Yeah.
So now you're just like saying, wait a minute, I like both you guys, and you're putting this dude down? Well, fuck you. I mean, it's just, I love Kiss. We all know that.
Oh, I love Kiss too, but if I have to choose, I'm going to go with Prince.
And I would too, because I'll tell you why. Prince is just so amazing. There's not one album of his that sounds like the other one. Not one.
No, it was all different.
Yep.
Yeah, each song is different.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about him, because he didn't care about record sales. He didn't care about what the record company.
Well, he really didn't have to, though, Guido.
No,
he didn't have to worry about, because he sold. I mean, even when he became the artist formerly known as Prince, his records sold
big time,
because he kept it all so wrapped tight before he released it, and he never released a single. He only released the entire album.
Do you know that they said that he has enough music in his vault of recorded, produced, mixed, and ready to go that they can release 60 albums?
Yeah, he said it in an interview, and someone had asked him, will you be the one releasing it? And he said, no, someone else is gonna. So that's why there's speculation that maybe he knew he was dying of something.
And I can't wait to tell you the truth, because I own every single thing he's ever done. I mean, and Prince is one of those artists where I still actually buy the CD, where I don't just download it or buy it, download it. I'll actually buy the physical copy. I think there's only 2 of them that I don't have the physical copy of, but those are the ones that he sold some only via his website or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, but
yeah, you can only get his stuff if you buy it. It's very rare if you can
download anything.
Yeah, download anything by Prince. His music was very protected. The only thing is, though, is that the guy didn't leave a will.
No.
So I don't even know if we're going to be able to hear that music, because who's going to get a hold of it?
Well,
who's going to be in charge of it? And are they going to distribute it out? Like, it's going to be crazy to see what happens in the future.
Well, here's the thing, is he didn't have a will for himself, okay? But his company, Paisley Park, has partners. So whoever's in charge of Paisley Park has the control of the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, and I can't tell you without a definite doubt that there's going to be music coming out.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm worried about Tupac's music that's still unreleased. Now with his mother gone, I don't know what's going to happen with that either. It's crazy. My music. Yeah, Feeny, she passed away 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Oh, did she really die, or did she just go meet him?
You know what? Who knows? I would like to think, that'd be great if he was living somewhere in I don't know, Cuba. I'd be happy with that.
With Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
Right.
I ain't hating. I love.
Okay. Let's not talk. Let's not get on the subject of conspiracies. We've got a we've got a guest that is very much alive. We didn't call in Elvis. Okay.
Well, it's been fun.
Oh, it has been fun. MJ, thanks for joining us, of course. And you stayed on a little longer than you normally do, but we thank you for that. It was an interesting conversation. And
I always have fun with you guys, and I love KGF Rocks.
oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much, hon. Thank you. She listens to us at least once a week.
I do.
Yeah. All right. Well, say
I'm busy, so
say hello to Hooligan for us, hon.
I will. You guys have a good night, and good luck on the interview.
All right, hon. Thank you. See you later, hon.
Mwah.
Mwah. So sweet. She is so sweet. Are you there?
Yeah, she's sweet even when you threw her off. No, I was kidding.
I didn't mean I didn't throw her off. She understands. We have time constraints. I want to get Lyndon in here. We're gonna do a Lyndon Sickmeier song, Mars Needs Guitars, and this is called Dark Design, right here on KGFRocks.com. And we will be right back with Lyndon Sickmeier. Stay tuned. Don't go away.
That's we just do. We like to play around. It's fun.
You gotta love Dead Air. You gotta love Dead Air, right, guys?
Yeah.
That was Lyndon Sickmeier and Mars Needs Guitars here on the Conjugal Visit Show. Hi, Lyndon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing real good, man.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And welcome to the Conjugal Visit Show again. This is your second
thanks for having me
visit.
back for, I think it's the third time now. Yeah.
This is the third time.
Oh, that's right. He was on the other program that we used to have.
He was on Mayhem, and then he was also on the original Conjugal Visit on KGF, and then now he's on this one. Well, welcome back, man. Welcome back. We're so glad to have guests like you, man. It's just fucking awesome.
Hey, you know what I want to ask? I wanted to start out with asking you before I forget about it. A very important person and a special guest of ours that passed away, and Rusty Burns.
Oh man, I did not know.
Yeah.
Wow.
He passed on, and I think actually you turned us on to getting him. I can't remember how that worked out, but
yeah, I met him at when we played the River Jam 2014.
Right.
I got acquainted with him.
He passed on, and we just wanted to see how you felt about him and what you thought of the man.
I thought he was an amazing musician, an incredible guitar player, and beyond that, he just had a ton of integrity about him.
Yeah, he was up front, man. He didn't pull any strings.
He was. Just an incredible. I mean, the music he composed was. He was just really an advanced musician. He was a guy. He was up there. In my opinion, he was as good as in any of the top guys. You could probably name from the 70s or 80s. Richie Blackmore. I think Rusty was just as good as any of those cats.
I agree with you, and I'm ashamed to say that before he came on our program, the only song I knew by him was the Nicole song, and after
that one got played.
Yeah,
a bit on St. Louis radio. Yeah,
and after he came on, I started listening to more of his music, and I'm like, I can't believe I missed all these years.
It's that Midwest rock and roll will get him every time, won't it, Lyndon? That Midwest rock and roll will get him every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got bands like Point Blank, and you've also got bands like Hartsfield and stuff like that. That these folks, and I know there's bands from the Northeast that we never heard of or didn't hear a lot of, and then when we hear them, say, "Wow, that was really good."
Well, the biggest one to come out of Buffalo, where I am, is Rick James.
Yeah.
And the Goo Goo Dolls, but Buffalo. It sucks because I don't know how the Midwest is, but if you're a local artist here, you get no support until you make it. Then all of a sudden, they're your best friend.
Yeah,
that's the way. But they're not going to help you get there. You got to get there on your own, And then if you get there, they say, "Oh well, okay, you deserve our kudos," Bands like yours, Lyndon, are different in the respect that you'll take a cover song and you'll flip it. You know what I'm saying? You'll turn a solid rock song into a song that is just like almost, how do I say it, progressive. You'll turn it right into progressive.
You make it your own.
Yeah, you make it your own. And that's what I think is great about Mars Needs Guitars and bands like yours, that you're able to do that. You can take a Jimi Hendrix song and just completely flip it into totally new progressive sound and make it live again. And that's what's really cool about bands like yourself. Do you find is it difficult to do that for you, or does that come pretty natural to you?
It feels pretty natural to me because I've been doing this for quite a while, and I got to a point where a lot of cover bands, that's what they do is they cover. They take and try to copy everything note for note, and it just they're basically trying to do the jukebox version of the song or whatever. But I always like to take a song and interpret it my own way. Change the arrangement around. Most of the leads I do, I don't think about them. They're just right off the top of my head. Whatever comes and flows is what comes out my fingers.
Right. Boy,
But I like.
he sounds just like Rusty Burns, doesn't he?
Well, you know what is cool about that though, Lyndon, is that the original artist would rather hear your version than their version.
Uh-huh.
You know, like it's just
Yeah,
like
you're probably right.
just like Bob Dylan said when someone said to him about All Along the Watchtower, he said, "That's not my song no more. That's a Hendrix song now." You know, and I mean, Bob Dylan wrote it, but come on, how many people in the world know that Bob Dylan did it first? Because
not very many,
right? Because the Hendrix version really kicked its ass, you know. And there's plenty of songs like that. Johnny Cash's "Hurt" was done by Nine Inch Nails. The Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails will not do it anymore because he says it's a Johnny Cash song now. You know, so I mean that's pretty amazing for the artist, the writer that wrote it to pretty much say that's not my song anymore. You know, and I think that's a lot of respect.
Well, who doesn't respect Johnny Cash?
Probably his first ex-wife.
Yeah, well, yeah. But besides her,
we were playing up at the Grafton Oyster Bar last night in a new venue for us, and you know the house was pretty well packed, and we had people coming up, and this one girl requested Johnny Cash "Ring of Fire," but we didn't have that one worked up, and I used some other Johnny off the top of my head, and he goes, you know, I told her we'd wing one, you know, and then we did a version of Folsom Prison Blues for her, and the place really went crazy. It was pretty wild.
it's wild, man. Sometimes you can bring those old songs out and dust them off and give them a try, you know. And especially with your style, it makes it fresh. And you know, like I said before, you're going to turn that Folsom Prison Blues into a progressively blues song, and there it is, man. I mean, they love it. The dynamic of the music that cover bands play, you're right. All they do is just, you know, copy it note for note, word for word, and they don't mix it up.
Right.
But when I see you play, it's like okay, is this song going to ever end? It's a great song, but is it ever going to end? You've got the what do they call it? The Grateful Dead syndrome, where you just never learned how to end a friggin' song, right?
Well, the Grateful Dead, it's not that they didn't know how to; they just didn't want to.
They just didn't want to. They were tripping. They were tripping way too hard, man.
Well,
But
you know, we do stretch out on some stuff, and you know, there's a few there's a couple songs. One's we do "L.A. Woman,"
Oh, cool.
and you know how the fast part is at the beginning,
yeah,
and it slows down in the middle and does the kind of dreamy, you know, kind of reminds you of the rainy streets of L.A. and stuff. In the middle, just kind of bluesy, and we really stretch that part out right there. And I always make sure, you know, Morrison used to always do a lot of poetry in those slow sections and stuff, and
Right.
I always try to throw some poetry in that middle section and just kind of do some different sounds on my guitar that.
Twinkle, twinkle,
You know,
little star.
kind of stretch it out, and we kind of get people in this really kind of dreamy frame of mind, and then we come back. I always come back with, you know, is everybody in? And a lot of times I can get the crowd, you know, is everybody in? Everybody going, yeah, you know, and get them going. And then come back into the Mr. Mojo Horizon and take it back to the fast part and take it out. And sometimes we'll stretch that out to like, you know, maybe 10, 12 minutes, you know.
nice. That's nice.
That's cool. And I tell you what, like when I'm listening to music, you know, yeah, I want a song. If I'm listening to recorded music, the song needs to end sooner or later. But when I go to a show, I don't mind if the song is 15 minutes long, you know, because you're watching those people, and if they're good, it's a good song. I mean, no matter if it's 20 minutes long or 2 minutes long. And I was always a big Dead fan, and I tell you what, you listen to them. If you're not a Dead fan, you heard them on the CD. Their songs are like 3 minutes. Okay, Truckin' is 3 minutes and 25 seconds. But when you go see them live, Truckin's now 23 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and it's cool.
Well, Sugary, the song "Sugary" that the Dead does, that on the record, the original cut is only 4.5 minutes long. Well, when they do "Sugary" live. That's a 26-minute song, so it's it just keeps going on and on and on.
Now, have you ever like done music like? Now I know me being a DJ and I do parties and weddings and stuff. I'm always getting asked to play songs that I friggin' hate, but have to play anyways. Have you ever come across that?
Yeah, you know, I have. You know, mostly earlier in my career, because I finally got to a point where I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it because I love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's just a certain songs that I just will not play, and you know, I kind of do my own thing, and I always have, and I try to find venues that accept that, you know, and the ones that don't and want the top 40 and want this and want that, I just don't play there, you know.
Right. Well, good for you, man. That's awesome. Because most people, you know, in music today do it for the money. I'll do whatever. I'll play you any song you want. And you know what? That's bullshit. Because first and foremost, you're there to entertain. You are, but you're also there for yourself. You know, and if you don't believe in what you're doing, don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to a certain point, if somebody requests a song, you know, if it's not something that I find horrific, you know, and I know it, I'll play it. You know, but there, you know, there is a few that I just cringe when they request. You know. Yeah,
and I'm sure that's the case for, you know, a lot of people, and even big time, you know, nationally signed bands. I'm sure there's songs that they hate. I know, matter of fact, in a couple bands that I like, you know, they would do covers, like say Van Halen, for instance. David Lee Roth was the king of the cover, but the rest of Van Halen didn't like to do the covers. But they did it because he wanted to, and I think they did them well. I love when a band does a good cover, but they make it their own.
Yeah, their version of "Pretty Woman," for instance, is just extraordinary. With the feedback that, you know, that they I forget what they call the track that leads into it, that kind of goes right into it.
Oh, Little Guitars, I think it is.
Yeah. Eddie's getting some really just wild feedback, and then then they go right into "Pretty Woman" and just do a killer version of it. You know, just a really nice version of it.
They do, and you know, and a lot of the Van Halen songs, their cover songs were brilliant. You know, they weren't just bullshit. Even "Dancing in the Streets" was amazing. If you just sit and listen to the guitar track alone, that's some pretty decent guitar work there.
Oh yeah, and you go back to the first album. Of course, "You Really Got Me." You know, with Eruption on the front of it. You know?
I think their selection. I think their selection of the cover songs that they did fit David Lee Roth exactly. I mean, I think there was a lot of consideration to say, okay, what fits?
Well, you had to. You couldn't have David Lee Roth do a Led Zeppelin song because it would sound horrible.
Love. Yeah. Could you hear Van Halen doing a whole lot of love?
He didn't. You know, he didn't have the high range to do that kind of stuff. In fact, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but when the band started, David Lee Roth was actually hired as a lead singer because he owned a PA system.
He owned his own PA system, right?
Yeah, they did garage.
That's back when they were Mammoth.
They did, they were Mammoth, and they did garage gigs all around Los Angeles and Anaheim and Orange County and all those areas out there in California. And they were doing garage shows. They were doing block parties and shit. And that's how they got discovered. They did a block party for, what's his name? What the heck was his name?
You know who discovered them?
Gene Simmons.
Right.
Gene Simmons discovered them, and he was at a party out in California, and he said, well, I want to talk to these guys, and he went and talked to them. So it's always good.
We like Gene Simmons backing up. Yeah, and there's actually an album or a recording in existence that have Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and the two Van Halen brothers playing. It's an album that they recorded, but neither record company will agree to release it because of the money issues.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And when Ace Frehley quit Kiss, Eddie Van Halen said, I want to take over his spot. And both Gene and Paul said, no, because you're better without us. We don't want flash, and we just want the power chords.
Right.
So they said no to Eddie Van Halen. That's pretty amazing.
Well, at least they respected him. They knew it wouldn't do him any good. I don't think that would have helped his career.
I think it would have
ruined a strange combination,
Mm-hmm. And plus, his ego is pretty big, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching Sammy Hagar's Rock and Roll Road Show recently, and he was talking about his time with Van Halen and when they got back together to do a reunion show, and the way Sammy talked, that he wouldn't work with him again because he's just last time he'd worked with, I don't know, he's been to rehab and stuff now, I think, but last time he worked with him, he said he was like totally out of control, like throwing fire extinguishers at at windows in an airplane while they're trying to fly to a gig and shit.
Jesus.
Just crazy shit,
Yeah.
just out of control.
Well, he was
no,
a
that
big.
was-
Alcohol.
Well, a lot of people, like back in that time when David Lee Roth first left Van Halen, think it was all David Lee Roth's fault, but it wasn't. I mean, Eddie Van Halen was a huge alcoholic back then, and he drank so much. I think it was just two conflicting personalities that just can't get along anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
Valerie only could put up with him for so long.
Right.
I mean, and if Valerie had a hard time keeping up with him, and she just got fed up with the bullshit. And then once Wolfgang hit 18, isn't it Wolfgang? That his name?
Yep.
Their son.
Wolfie.
Yeah. Once he hit 18, that was it. You knew that was the end of that fucking marriage.
Well, how cool is that, though? Wolfie is whatever age now, and he is the bassist in Van Halen. That's pretty friggin' cool.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I mean, you know what it tells me is that nobody wants to play with him but his son.
Well, no, Michael Anthony did want to play, but they had a big problem with him for some reason because he did an interview and he blasted Eddie Van Halen in the interview, and that was it. Eddie Van Halen said, "You're gone."
Right. Michael Anthony is, to me, on the early records. I mean, that's Michael Anthony doing all the background vocals. That guy's got a
Amazing.
hell of a voice. He's like overdubbing himself, to do all those background harmonies. And he's got a hell of a voice, and he was real solid on the bass too. I thought he was-
Better singer than David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
Sure.
And he's got great hot sauce, by the way.
Oh yeah, he makes a great hot sauce. Yeah,
Yes, he
hot sauce.
does.
Oh yeah.
He's got a hot sauce company, but he's not doing bad. He's playing with Chickenfoot. He's playing with Hagar.
Hagar.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be in St. Louis with Sammy at Fair St. Louis this year on 4th of July
Is that
weekend.
right?
Yeah, they will be
cool.
here, and Michael Anthony will be jamming with him. And that's going to be a great show, and I will not miss that show. I've already put in for that day off. Don't ask, I'm not doing it. So I will be
What
going
day
to
is
see
it
that
on?
show.
Is it actually on the 4th?
It's actually, I think it's on. Yeah, it's on the 4th. So it's
Yeah,
on Saturday.
we're playing the 3rd. We're doing a Independence Day show on the 3rd up at the Grafton Oyster Bar in Grafton, Illinois.
Oh yeah,
And, that's the night Grafton has all their fireworks out on the river and stuff. And it's really nice venue. Their food is killer, and man, the people who own it also own the Broadway Oyster Bar in St. Louis, so it's like affiliated with them. So
Is oysters a big thing in St. Louis or in Missouri?
What's that?
it's seafood is like their seafood is like their main thing. They serve all kinds of stuff, and the food's like really good. Yeah, I don't really care for oysters much myself. But I love shrimp. I had some of their shrimp last night. It kicked ass.
Yeah.
What is the food of Missouri? Like here in Buffalo, New York, chicken wings were defined by. What do you say would be the signature dish there in Missouri?
Man, it'd be hard to say. We're omnivores.
All right, free ride. Like the signature food, like here in New York and Buffalo, it's a chicken wing. We're known for chicken wings.
Right.
What?
Toasted ravioli. Toasted
ravioli.
ravioli for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Toasted ravioli. St. Louis barbecue is different than any other barbecue out there. It's
That's true. I've heard of that.
Let's see, what else is killer here?
That's where KC Masterpiece came from, the barbecue sauce, I think, isn't it?
No, it came from Kansas City, but
That's still Missouri.
we have a company here called Malls, and it is the best barbecue sauce ever. I don't barbecue without it. Malls barbecue sauce is the finest in the land. It is just tremendous. We used to live in California, and I would have my mom ship me Malls so that I would have it because we couldn't get it out there in L.A. So she would ship it to me. Are you sure you want this big bottle? Yeah, I want that big bottle. Insure it for $50.
Wow.
It was like gold. Sammy Hagar plays July 3rd, which is Sunday.
The 3rd.
Yeah, the 3rd.
That's the same night I'm playing.
We won't be.
That's the same night we're doing our show.
Yeah, we will not be doing a show on the 3rd of July.
Well, you won't be doing a show.
Well, you might be doing a show, but I won't be doing it. I'll be seeing Sammy Hagar. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And Michael
Do you know
Anthony.
who I want to see on the 4th of July? I want to go see Neil Diamond on the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, yeah.
because I want to see him playing "Coming to America" right on the floor.
Right on the 4th. Yeah. Well, matter of fact, the same night Eddie Money's going to be with him.
He's still alive?
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
I opened for Eddie Money. I opened for him last summer in Alton at the.
Yeah. He
yeah,
brought his kids out, man. He's promoting his kids really big. Yeah. His kids are musicians. They weren't that great. You know, we left.
Hey, Free Ride, what was Eddie Money before he was a singer?
He was a baseball player.
He was a policeman.
Well, oh, I thought he was a baseball player.
No, he was a New York cop, I think, wasn't he?
New York City.
yeah.
New York City cop. Who was the ball player? There's a rock and roller that used to be a ball player. I'll think of it when I'm not thinking about it.
Freddie Mercury.
No.
Oh, different ball.
Different kind of ball. Baseball player.
That was bad.
You're bad, man. You're bad. Picking on the dead guy.
I don't know of anybody rock star that was a former baseball player. You got me stumped there. I really don't. And I know Lyndon knows a lot about music too, and you got him stumped too.
Yeah, nothing's coming to my mind.
Not Eddie. God, what the hell was it? I'll think of it later when I'm not thinking about it. There's one out there. I know. Okay, I'll figure it out.
All right, you do that on your own time.
Yeah, I'll do that on my time. So.
But you know what? It's amazing though how people like quit and do things. Like Eddie Money, he had a good job. He was a cop in New York City. I mean, and then he decided he wanted to be a singer, and he did it. You know, I mean, he hasn't been like famous since the mid '80s, but from like '78 to '86, he was huge.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
And he creates some great tunes. One of my favorite songs by him is always I like "Shakin'," and I know it's a stupid song, but I love the one he did with Ronnie Spector, "Take Me Home Tonight."
Oh yeah,
I just think that's a great tune, and I'd like to go see him. You know who I'm going to go see this year, and I'm probably going to go for free, thank God, to my mom's gambling habit because he's playing at the casino. Is Ringo Starr? I've never saw Beatle, and I'm actually looking forward.
Oh man, I could. You're in for a treat.
I
seen Ringo with the his one of his all-star bands a few years back, and man, it was a killer show. You know, Ringo stood up. They had Peter Frampton on lead guitar.
Wow.
They had Jack Bruce on bass.
Oh my God.
They had Gary Brooker from Procol Harum on organ, and he sang Whiter Shade of Pale while he was there. They had the drummer, one of the drummers from Bad Company, and Ringo and the other drummer. They sometimes they played double drums, and sometimes Ringo stood up front and sang Beatles songs, and the other guy played drums and stuff. You know? It was a killer show, just an awesome show.
I know my dad had went to see him back when he first started the All-Star Band, and I wanted to go too, and I didn't. But Burton Cummins was the keyboard player then, and
oh man, yeah,
I love Burton Cummins, and I would have loved to seen that one, you know. And he shares a stage with big names. These aren't little names. Joe Walsh, you know, Peter Frampton. It's not just like here's the guitar player from this band that had one hit in 1965. No, these guys all had their own hits, you know.
Yeah, he's all those shows. He'd bring out a different group of legends to tour with, like every time, you know.
And it shows to show you. And when I read an interview with Burton Cummins one time, he said Ringo split that money evenly. He did not screw those guys. You know, he was really good. Cool. He was really good to them. He just wanted to play with good musicians. He didn't want to, screw them. They stayed in the best hotels, traveled first class, and that's good stand-up guy there.
I went to see him at Fair St. Louis when it was down at the Arch with, he had Billy Preston with him, the fifth Beatle. Oh. He had, it was on the 4th of July. It was his birthday. Ringo Starr's birthday is the 4th of July. And then also, from Grand Funk Railroad.
Mark Farner?
Mark Farner was with him. And someone else. I'm not sure who else was with him. There was somebody else there. But it was a very good show. It was very cool. Very good show. He always puts on a great show.
Everybody probably thought he was going to be like, after the Beatles broke up, nobody's going to ever hear from him again. The dude had like 2 or 3 number one singles, you know, and he really made a good career for himself.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, he certainly did. Yep.
I don't think he made the money like on the Paul McCartney scale.
Oh, of course not. He didn't make the money on the Paul McCartney sale. But you know what? Paul McCartney is an amazing songwriter. Ringo Starr wasn't. Ringo Starr became an actor. You know, he became he was in that movie Caveman. He was also, I think he was in that Shiny Time Station, that kids program.
The blue, what is the name of the train, the engineer?
Yeah, Thomas the Train or
Thomas
whatever.
the Train. He did the engineer.
Right. You know what's funny? When he quit that show, George Carlin took over for him.
Yeah, George Carlin did it.
George Carlin doing a children's show. What the? You know?
It was great. Now you know who we are. We used to watch that. My kids used to watch it at the same time you were watching it.
Probably.
When you were a little boy. Yeah.
Well, guy. You know, I am a young guy because when I was born, House of the Holy just came out from Led Zeppelin. So, you know, you were probably there, Free.
I was there. Yeah, definitely. There.
Yeah, I was. I can remember when the very first Led Zeppelin came out.
Yeah, that's how old I am. Hell yeah!
Nobody had ever heard anything like it, really. You know,
yeah.
Like, and you know, the critics panned it roundly at the time. It was like, you know, they had no idea what they were listening to. You know, it was like it was so far ahead of you know what was going on that.
Well, if you did,
just like the first Black Sabbath album.
Oh, that's right there. Oh my God,
the shit out of it too. You know.
Yeah.
First Black Sabbath album to me, when I first heard that, even 20 years after it was released, was like, wow, this is where metal came from. You know.
Yeah. Well, not only that. I mean, you know, just the whole drug scene that was around that, and that was the first of the I guess
Stoner
you would.
rock.
Yeah, goth, almost, you know, we're talking hallucinations here, man. I mean, we're talking things that you don't normally see without being under the influence of a drug.
Well, you got Ozzy fucking Osbourne as your lead singer. What else you gonna have?
Well, yeah, when you see Ozzy Osbourne, that little guy standing up on stage, all dressed in white, and the spotlight continues to change colors, and he changes colors at the same time while they're doing Paranoid. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! If you're frying on acid, man, it's over, dude.
Well, that would be the same way if you went to see the very first incarnation of Genesis. That's how they were too.
And so was Yes. Yes was that way. And so, and believe it or not, guys.
Peter Gabriel.
I do too.
Peter Gabriel's the shit. Yes was like that. Yes was like that. Nobody understood the message. And I think that's what was wrong with the Zeppelin album, the first Zeppelin album. The critics didn't understand the message that they were sending out. Yeah. And there was a message to it.
Yeah, you know, people my age latched onto it like, you know, immediately. You know, as soon as they heard it, you know, this is fantastic. You know.
Yeah.
Well, there's no denying that band. I mean, John Paul Jones, the unsung hero of Zeppelin, amazing musician. John Bonham, one of the most influential drummers of all time. You know, what else can you say about Robert Plant created that heavy metal screaming wailing type singing, you know what I mean? And then Jimmy Page, who was the consummate studio musician. I mean, people don't realize he played on everybody's record back in the day, you know.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's what he did before he even formed Led Zeppelin. He was a professional studio musician. He would play on other people's records, you know.
I mean, he played on Dusty Springfield albums, for Christ's sakes, you know.
Yeah. He
played
on a lot of, you know.
He did. A lot of records. I think, though, here's a question for both of you. There was 3 amazing guitar players in the Yardbirds.
Right.
Who's the best?
Oh, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton.
Jeff Beck. Sorry.
My opinion would say I'll agree with...
Which one of the 3?
Which one of the 3, yeah.
Which one of the 3 was the best?
The best.
Yeah, in your opinion.
I think Jeff Beck's like untouchable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think right now to this day, I don't think there's anybody alive that is as good as Jeff Beck on electric guitar.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
I'll agree with the both of you. In the Yardbirds, I think Jeff Beck was the best. But my opinion is I think Eric Clapton, and I'll tell you why. Because Eric Clapton made a career after he got out of Cream and that of not playing that guitar. He didn't really well on that guitar during the 70s. He became something different. He said, I'm not just a guitar player, and he proved to everybody that he could create hits without just playing the guitar. So
they're all,
for me,
they're all amazing musicians, and they all had different strengths and different styles. But I read an interview, Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton, talking about just purely talking about guitar playing. Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton, I read this interview with them, and they were talking to Eric Clapton, or talking to Jeff Beck first, and they asked him, do you think you could play, you could basically do or play anything that Eric Clapton could play? And Jeff Beck says, yeah, I could. And then they asked Eric Clapton, do you think you could do the stuff that Jeff Beck is doing? And he said, no way, not a chance.
That's a cool thing about Eric Clapton is he doesn't think he's the greatest. I mean, because he even said that when he first saw Jimi Hendrix, he thought it was the end of his career because nobody could touch Hendrix, and he always gave the credit where it's due. And I liked him for that. And plus, he was always in the spotlight where Jeff Beck, if you weren't a Beck fan, you didn't hear him on the radio that much. He got a bad ride. Jeff Beck got screwed by radio, in my opinion, because
what I respect about Jeff Beck is that he didn't really care.
No,
he wanted to make it. He wanted to. He made music that he wanted to make, and and he did what he wanted to do, and then he like for instance, the Blow by Blow album. He was going to new territory every time he did something.
Right.
He kept changing, and he just did what he wanted to do, and made a career out of it. Made a great career out of it anyway. He wasn't trying to be a superstar, or I don't even think he was going for hits. He was just doing what he wanted to do.
And you know what? My favorite album by them was Beckola.
Yeah, that was a good album. That was a good album. I went to see Jeff Beck.
Go ahead.
No, I got the opportunity to see Jeff Beck here in St. Louis. God, how long ago was that? 1976.
I've seen like the last. Oh, okay, it's been a while then.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I'm thinking 1970. I don't even remember who I saw with him. All I know is he really stood out. I don't know. I don't recall who was with him at the for that concert. But it was a great show, and I remember Jeff Beck for sure. We had a junkie sitting next to us, Pat, nodding out and shit. And a lot of people wore black to his concerts, and I don't know what the deal was with that. But if I remember correctly, when I went to the show, everybody wore black to that show, and it was kind of strange.
Well, a lot of people don't know either that Rod Stewart was part of his band.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rod Stewart was the lead singer on the first two Jeff. They were calling themselves a Jeff Beck group at the time. Rod Stewart was the lead singer, and Ronnie Wood, for the basses, was playing bass guitar for Jeff at the time.
Yeah,
he had Jeff asked him to play bass guitar, and he was actually a guitar player, and he switched over, and he's playing bass and played some really fine bass, and you could really hear his attack. He's like playing with a pick, and he just kind of doing it his own way,
Right.
And Ainsley Dunbar, I think, was the drummer.
Oh, he's a great drummer. Ainsley Dunbar, I think he was the original drummer of Journey too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that's underrated. Wasn't he in like not Graham Bonnet? What the heck band was he in? He was in one of those big bands back then. Ainsley Dunbar, like a Mick Fleetwood type thing or whatever. What the hell band were they in together? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank here.
Ainsley Dunbar has played with just about everybody. I think he even played with Zappa for a while.
Well, who hasn't? That's another concept.
You had to be a top musician to play with Zappa, because
sure did.
Zappa's music, is very, very complicated arrangements. It wasn't just something you could just pull out of your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to see this summer. It's a free concert here in Buffalo. It's Zappa plays Zappa. It's Dweezil Zappa playing his father's music, and I'm really, really interested in going to see that.
Oh man, if it comes to St. Louis, I'm there. My son went last time they came. My son Nathan, who also plays, and he's a multi-instrumentalist and also plays in the band. We went over to or he went over to see Zappa play Zappa the last time they were in St. Louis, and he said it was a killer show.
It was.
Awesome.
I saw it when it came here.
I seen Dweezil Zappa just recently. He was the Experience Hendrix tour came to St. Louis.
Yeah,
and a lot of really fine guitar players. Doing some of them were playing Hendrix songs, like you said, like kind of trying to copy the exact tone and the exact. And then others were kind of interpreting the songs their own way. And it was like Dweezil was on the bill, and Zach Wilde, who just simply tore it up. Man, that guy was amazing. Man, he walked the aisle for 10 minutes playing a lead solo. And just tearing it up,
Zach Wilde is one of the most underrated guitar players ever. Because he don't get enough credit. He really don't. I think because he's stuck in the metal genre. But if you listen to some of his solo stuff, it's amazing.
Well, here's the thing on Jeff Beck. He's going on tour. His new album releases July 15th, and he goes on tour starting July 19th.
Oh, wow.
He will be with Buddy Guy in Kansas City at the Starlight Theater. And then before that, he is going to be, where is it? He will be at Highland Park, Illinois, at the Ravina. Yeah,
wow.
Jeff Beck.
Cool.
Yeah, so he'll be.
I've seen him the last 3 times he's came. I've seen him over at Verizon Wireless with ZZ Top, and I've seen him twice at Fox.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And, he starts in Port Chester, New York. Yeah, he starts there on July 19th.
Now, speaking of seeing a guitarist a couple times, I've saw Buddy Guy 3 times, and every time I've seen him, I've walked away with wow.
Buddy was at the Experience Hendrix show too.
Oh yeah,
he was one of the last guitarists to come out, and he covered Red House and did a couple other things. But he was there. Just all kinds of good players. Doyle Bramhall was there.
Very, very good.
There was this amazing female guitarist that I wasn't even familiar with, and she just came out and tore it up, just burned up the slide. Her name is Anna Popovic. Have you ever heard of her?
I've heard of her. I don't know much by her, but yes.
She's a hell of a player.
There's so many guitarists out there that are good, but then again, there's so many out there that plain old suck and don't know why they're got recording contracts. Let me tell you, But one of the best concerts I saw was the G3 concert, and it was Satriani, Vai, and Eric. What the heck, Cliffs of Dover. Oh God, I can never remember his name.
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson, right? And that show,
he was also at the Experience Hendrix show.
Oh, he's another one of those underrated guitar players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came out and did Hendrix's Third Stone from the Sun.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he did Are You Experienced? With Zach Wilde playing piano.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, they remastered that whole album. And they put I've got that as well. That's a great album. And the idea that Jimi Hendrix could come back and get played the way it got played on the radio when it first hit. I mean, my God. It just rocks, man.
I think Jimi Hendrix single-handedly influenced half of the musical population of today.
Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah.
And even if you are not a Hendrix fan, the guy played the guitar upside down, pretty much, backwards. I mean, he played a left-handed guitar.
I've seen
left-handed, played it right-handed though.
I've seen Lyndon play backwards, man. Didn't you play with the guitar behind your head one night? Weren't you all fucked up?
No, I mean he played it upside down. The strings were reversed.
Oh, the strings were reversed. Okay, left-handed.
Yeah, he was a lefty. He was a lefty, and he played with the guitar kind of turned around.
Mm-hmm.
So But
I've seen.
I do some stuff like that. I'll play behind my back, or play off the mic stand, or lay it down on the table and play a little slide with a beer bottle, or
Yeah.
Did you ever play with your tongue or your teeth?
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, that's always good. That's always good though when you see guitar players.
There's 2 ways to do that. You can actually do it with your teeth, which you're inclined chip your teeth if you do that, which I did one time. Or else you can put a pick between your teeth and do it with a pick, like play it with your mouth. There's like 2 different ways you can do it, but
right.
There's probably more than that, but that's that's 2 ways I've done it.
It's always a good visual effect for people. People go crazy when people do stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
they do, and I love it. Even when you go see like local artists in your town and they put on a show, that's what I want to see. Okay, yeah, we know you can play the songs because you're up there, but entertain me too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Put some life into it.
Yeah. Act like you really want to be there. I went to see Mark Farner at Jefferson Barracks when he played the cholesterol show with Gacy, and Mark Farner was up there. He's talking politics and stuff, and people are yelling, "Just shut up and play some music." Let's not get political, man. You're there to entertain us. We don't want to talk about the war in Iraq. We didn't want to talk about George W. Bush. We wanted to hear some music. We wanted to get away from all that shit. That's why we came here. A lot of people were pissed.
Right.
You just don't mix the two. You're there to make sure people have a good time. And I can never understand.
If you start politicizing, or you start preaching from the bandstand, you're going to lose at least half your crowd, probably.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that was okay back in the '60s. Because the music spoke of the protest. The music was about the protest. Okay? And they talk politics all the time. But it was acceptable back then. Because everybody was of the same mindset. But not everybody's of the same mindset anymore.
If I have something to say along that line, I'll put it in a song. I'll make a song out of it.
Yeah.
And some people will get it and some people won't, You
got to do a song about Trump, man. You got to do come on, you got to do a campaign song about Trump. We'll put it in our rotation.
Yeah. Don't get me started.
No, we try our best to avoid politics. On the show.
Yeah. We better steer a different direction.
What? You don't like Trump?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all I'm asking. That's all. Straight answer.
Yeah,
I'm not
let's
either.
not get political.
I'm not a big fan either. So, my guy dropped out. So anyway, if it were to come down to a show, okay, that you would like to open for, who would you like to open for, Lyndon?
Oh my God, that's a tough one.
I mean, who would be the dream band or artist to open for you?
I'd have to say Jeff Beck.
Oh, really?
Just right off. Yeah.
I'll get him on the phone right away.
Yeah.
Do that. Set it up for me too, right?
I'll set that up. Are you free to be in Kansas City in August?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, he'd probably go to New York if he could open for Jeff Beck.
You got that right. Yeah.
I would have to say, I'm not in a band or anything, but if I was and I got the chance to open for somebody, wow, that's a tough one because I like so many people, But currently, there's got to still be alive. I'd want to open for Black Sabbath.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I would really love to meet Tony, and I just think I read his biography in his book, and I just think he's people don't realize how much he did for music with the riffs. Nobody really riffed like he did before he did it, and I would like to say that to him. And, here's another key fact that a lot of people don't know. Do you know that his best friend was John Bonham?
Who's this?
I didn't know that. Did you know that he was? Did you know that Tony Iommi was the lead player for Jethro Tull for a while?
Yes, I did know that, and he quit, went back to Black Sabbath. But he was John Bonham's best man in John's wedding.
Wow, I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, and he was, and then when Van Halen first came out, he loved the way Eddie Van Halen played, so he asked them to open up for them. Well, during their sound check, they were playing Black Sabbath songs, and Tony got kind of pissed because he's like, "Why would you, trying to show me up?" But it was totally the opposite. Eddie was trying to show him how much he loved him, and then they end up becoming drinking buddies for like the next 10 years.
Uh,
That's always nice. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how conflict can turn into friendships overnight, especially between musicians. I mean, some musicians don't get it. They don't want to be friends with anybody. It's like the thing with Sammy and Eddie Van Halen. I mean, they're not friends. And Eddie said it right out loud. I have no intention of being my lead singer's best friend. He even said that about David Lee Roth. But you got to think that, you know what, man, those guys helped you get to where you are. You know, wouldn't you want to be a friend of that? I mean, seriously, it's the same thing with Kiss. I just can't imagine why Gene would hold that against anybody. I mean, okay, fine, it's time to move on. It's over.
Because he's a douchebag.
Because he's a douchebag. I guess that's what it is.
And Lyndon, I'm a huge Kiss fan, but I think he's a douchebag. You know, and,
especially about what he said about Prince recently. Have you heard about this, Lyndon? Have you heard about? Yeah. Okay. Well. Gene Simmons, in his infinite wisdom, called Prince's death pathetic, and that he got what was coming to him.
Oh my God! You know, why would somebody, you know, even if in some twisted way they thought that, why would they say something so hurtful? You know, when his your family,
grieving.
Or, you know, everybody.
He's not even cold yet. He's not even cold yet, dude. I mean, it's crazy.
I think he's jealous because Prince is a musician and Gene Simmons is a businessman.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Prince was an amazing musician. He could play anything. You know, he got his start in Minneapolis by he was the janitor at a
recording studio.
But he was cleaning the studio in exchange for studio time, and that's how he did his first demo. He played all the instruments on it. You know, did all the vocals, and you know, that's how he got his start. You know,
and he was only 18 or 19 when that first CD came out, or first album came out.
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? People could say what they want about, I don't like him. You don't have to like him. But you know what? Yeah. Respect the man for his musical talent and what he did. Yeah. You know what I mean? He wouldn't, you could not put him down. You know, you can't leave our record company. We own your name. Okay. I won't use my name anymore.
Yeah.
He did everything on his own terms.
Yeah, he was a genius. I just won't use Prince anymore, and that's how I get out of the fucking contract. Right. I mean, how else do you want to do it? Well, listen, we're going to talk about more dead rock stars. We've talked about enough of them tonight, but we're going to talk about more about dead rock stars here in a minute. We're going to also bring our good friend in. Chaz is ready to go and ready to go. We're going to do an album review. You want to stick around for a little bit there, Lyndon? I'm going to play Morrissey's guitars for you guys. You stick around for a little bit, Lyndon, with us?
Cool. Sounds good, man.
Okay, man. Hang on just a second. We're going to play Karma Baby. This is Mars Needs Guitars. Yeah, good song, man. Good song. And we'll be right back with Lyndon Sickmeier, and our good friend Chaz comes to join us. This is Conjugal Visits, KGFRocks.com.
You bring you down and vacillate you. I won't hurt you, I don't mean maybe. I just want you to be my karma, baby. I don't want to aggravate you. Tie you down and flagellate you. don't mean maybe. I just want you to be my karma, baby. When you walk, that's what done me right. When we talk, you're telling me, oh, oh. I don't want to like a stalk you. I just want to fucking rock you. Not that gorgeous little lady. And I want you to be my karma, baby. Aggravate you. Tie you down and flagellate you. I won't burn you, I don't mean maybe. I just want you to be my karma, baby. When you start giving me what? When we touch, you and me go. Come on, baby. I'll be my karma, baby. I'll be my karma, baby. I'll be my electric lady. Run with the scissors, baby. Little karma, baby. I get your wish on, baby. I'll be my electric lady. Insane. Oh, God, she smiles. She does. Just can't contain this feeling inside.
Yeah, Lyndon Sickmeier and Mars Needs Guitars. That was Karma, baby. Karma. Good rocking song there.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
thanks, man.
Yeah, it kicked ass. That's that's in our rotation, everybody. That is in our rotation. So you can go in and request that, or any of the bands that we have on our show go into rotation. But Lyndon's been in rotation since the very first day we were on the air. So I'll say that.
One of our
cool.
first.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, one of our first inloads was all of the bands that have been with us even with the old station. So you were one of the very first ones to get put into the rotation on KGF Rocks. It was very cool. We're very proud to have you as a friend.
No, very, very good. I'm proud to be your friend.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So, anyways, we brought in our good buddy Chaz, and Chaz has an album review. I don't know. Have you ever heard of this guy Andy Black?
I have not.
No.
No.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Andy Black, there, Chaz?
Absolutely. Andy Black, he's the lead singer of the band Black Veil Brides. His real name is Andy Bierzak, and his little solo project, he combines the both, and he goes by Andy Black. Black Veil Brides is it's a metal band, but kind of on the emo scene. They've softened their tone over the past few albums, but they're still on the whole, Warped Tour, teeny kind of metal. All the girls love him because, I must admit he's a handsome devil. But,
cool, cool.
So his
got a man
band
crush
Black Veil Brides, not that much, but his band Black Veil Brides, I actually do like some of their music. So when Guido gave me this, I was interested to see where we went. So, and that's all I can start off with.
That's all you can start off with. Now,
Yeah.
What's Andy's background in music?
As far as I know, he's a younger guy. He's I don't know his exact age. He's probably like 24 or something like that, 25.
Oh, okay.
What I know is that him and I have very similar tastes. Heard him on a podcast, Chris Jericho's podcast, and he mentioned that his favorite band ever is some band called Kiss, and his favorite era is the 90s era, which is my favorite. So
Go figure.
We started off great.
That friggin' Kiss again. Dan, we just 1 week, guys. 1 week. We could go without talking about Kiss. Would really be a great feeling.
We'll try.
Just 1 week.
I could probably go for a long time without talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, Anyway, so Andy Black, and the new album was released when? When was it released?
I don't actually even know. I was just listening to the tracks on Spotify, so it has to be newer, the past month or so. That's all I really know.
It's about 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Okay, so the review. My favorite era of Black Veil Brides comes from I think it was their third album. It was called The Wretched and Divine, and it's metal. It's your newish metal. There's Guido mentioned something last week about how he doesn't scream anymore. Well, he kind of cut that out after the first album. The album that I really got into him, The Wretched and Divine. I think it was 2013, maybe 2012. Barely any screaming on there. There's the guitar players they had were really good. Just your classic like Avenged Sevenfold, newish style, harmonies and all that stuff. So he hasn't been doing the screaming for a while. So last week Guido said something about, we're going to have a debate on it. So I listened to the songs, and actually I must say the first time I heard the song was on Guido's show Wednesday night on KGF Rocks. So I'll throw him out there for that. I've looked it up since. And it is very different from Black Veil Brides, I'll tell you that much. It's still a little bit of rock and roll feel. I was going into it planning on it being maybe like slow acoustic kind of stuff, and it was not that at all. It's more of like dance rock music, and it's got a fast beat, and it's meant, to get people to move and to get people to dance. But I really do like the guy's voice, so it suckers me in because I always liked his voice. Listening to it, it reminds me a lot, and it reminds me a lot of The Cure, like an updated version of The Cure,
okay.
which I do, have certain Cure songs I like. A more contemporary band that it reminds me of, and you can tell he's a fan by his looks and the way this sounds, is a band called AFI. And it really reminds me of that too, which is a band I really enjoy. So all in all, I must say I've heard about 4 songs off of it, a bunch of times. And we gave Breathing Lightning last week, so 4 out of 5. We're going to give it a guitar pick since, it's my review.
Okay,
so
good.
Breathing Lightning got 4 guitar picks out of 5 last week. This one, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to give it 3 guitar picks because you know what? It's right in the middle there for me. I'm definitely like never gonna necessarily run and listen to it again, but I will throw it on from time to time, and I won't necessarily change it if it randomly comes on KGF Rock. So all in all, for the listeners that are not in to the metal scene so much, it's a dancey song. He's got a good voice. There's a lot of rhythm into it. His lyrics are always like, emotional and to the point, and it's a good listen. So I'm going to give it 3 guitar picks.
All right. I would have gave it 4.
Nice.
You know why? Because I like the fact that, he did a solo album away from his band and totally changed what his band does. I mean, he went from, let's face it, other bands, do solo albums or guys do solo albums, but it kind of sounds like the band they came from a little bit. You would never know that he came from a heavy metal band after hearing this album.
If you've never heard Black Veil Brides, absolutely. But the one thing about him is he has a very distinct voice. I mean, I can pick that out. There's a lot of bands nowadays, all these, like they call them the emo scene bands. They're all cookie cutter. All the singers sound the same, but his voice was always distinct, and I think that's what sets him apart, and that's what really carries the songs that I heard. I mean, if you just took his voice out and his singing and the music, it's kind of lame. It's just kind of like pop dance music, but his voice doesn't make it sound like pop radio. It gives it that rock feel.
Well, why don't we play Snip?
Okay, we're going to do that. I'm going to play the first minute or so of this. We'll be right back. This song here is We Don't Have to Dance. This is Andy Black, KGFRocks.com. We'll be right back. We really can't. I was tempted to go longer, but I said, no. As far as the song is concerned, you're right. It's, how do you describe it? It's, you're right. It's dance.
It is.
It's like dance rock.
Yeah. Dance rock.
But that's why I liked what he did, because he went from what he's comfortable with doing and showed the world that he's kind of versatile, and that he's not just Andy Bierzak, the metal singer. He's Andy Black, all around singer. He's a singer, and that's good. But let's give Chaz his homework for this week. This week's album that you're going to do was released on April 29th, and it is called Prayers for the Damned by 6 a.m.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be your review for next week.
Cool.
That'll be interesting because their first album I absolutely loved, and I haven't liked anything since. So,
we'll get to see if you like this one or not, and it shouldn't be hard for you to listen to because it is a little bit of Motley Crue and DJ Ashba, who is an amazing guitarist.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, so 6 a.m. will be next week. Hey, Lyndon, we didn't mean to ignore you there, man.
Oh, no problem. I'm just listening and picking up some new stuff to listen to.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And like we said, we're going to play all this stuff. We'll have some Andrew Black in our rotation here coming up soon, and some of his old stuff too, if we can dig that up and put that into our rotation. And of course, if there's anything new from you, I noticed that you just posted a new live version of In the Beginning. Was that you?
From the beginning, yeah. That was for a show we did down at called the Art Fools Fest down at Shakers in Alton.
Okay.
We did a.
Is that the first time you guys ever?
From that show.
Is that the first time Is that the first time you guys ever did that live? Or
no, actually it's not. We've had that in our set for quite a while.
Okay. Yeah, it sounded real good.
When we do it, thank you, appreciate it. Well, we were playing 3-piece that night. That when my son plays with us, which is about half the time. He usually plays electric violin on that one, and he really kind of tears it up at the end. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we can look forward to. Okay, give us some dates that you're going to be on. You'll be live, and we'll share that with the listeners so that they know where to go.
Sure. Next Saturday night, Saturday the 21st, we're going to be at Shea, Maryland in downtown Alton from 8 to 12. May 28th, we got a special show coming up. We're playing Saturday afternoon at Jimmy the Greek's on Broadway in Alton, and it's a benefit for a guy whose house burned down, and we're going to try to raise some money for him.
Oh, cool.
And let's see, we got playing Doc Holidays in Cottage Hills, Illinois on June 4th. We're doing Grafton Oyster Bar again on June 11th. We're playing Wigglers in Edwardsville on the 17th. Mike's 10 Pin on June 18th, and we're going to be at DJ's in Jerseyville on June 25th.
Okay.
And then we got a bunch of stuff coming up in July. We're playing the Sitting Bull in New Memphis, Illinois on July 2nd. We're playing July 3rd at the Grafton Oyster Bar. We're doing Grafton Music in the Park on Thursday. We're doing a big show with a bunch of different bands up at Marquette Park, north of Alton, called Jeffapalooza. We're doing the Jeffapalooza. Then we're doing Grafton Oyster Bar again, and then the 10 band. My old band recently, Demented Penguins, we recently had a reunion, and
Wait. Demented Penguins?
Yeah, the Demented Penguins. That was my '90s band. Yeah,
Nice.
Cool. That's a cool name. Where would you come up with a name like that?
Well, I wrote a song. I wrote a kind of a idiosyncratic little instrumental called "March of the Demented Penguin," and I took the name of the band from the song.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we recently had a reunion. We hadn't played together basically for 20 years, and we got together and did like a 2-day marathon recording session. Just recorded everything, and we it went so well. We're going to start doing some shows with that band too. So we have something coming up with them on August 20th. They're going to be doing some Demented Penguin shows. So.
Oh, cool. And that's mainly some psychedelic stuff, some 60s, early 70s era type music, right?
No, we were actually an all original band, but we had like some real eclectic covers that we threw in. We used to do Fascination Street by The Cure, and we did cool. Some Pink Floyd, some Doors, and just some different stuff here and there.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Very cool. Well, listen, Lyndon, we're going to let you go. And we want to thank you again from the bottom of our hearts, man. We can't thank you enough for doing a show with us tonight. We really do appreciate you coming in tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had a good time.
Thanks again, Lyndon. And I'll be seeing you soon. Okay, I'm going to come out and check out one. I'm going to come out and check out one of your shows. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Lyndon. You have a good night, boss.
Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
All right. Good night.
All right.
What a great guy. I mean,
very good dude.
Talk about good conversation. Jesus Christ, man, that was fun. Just some great conversation with Lyndon Sickmeier, again, with Mars Needs Guitars.
I know it's always nice when we have a guest on that knows about music because
most all of them do. I mean, 90%, even the young ones like Gabby Ray knew about music.
Gabby Ray is an exception to the rule. She was her uncle is Jeff Scott Soto, and she was practically grew up with Michael Sweet from Stryper. I mean, how can you not know
music, right?
Music,
right?
And how could you not be a good singer?
Yeah, how could you not be a good singer?
With her uncle
right?
being Jeff Scott Soto and Michael Sweet guiding her career, and she's set to go places soon, and I think she's going to blow up really soon.
Yeah. I think
she better not forget about us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
she
hope
won't.
not. I don't think she will. She won't. And as a matter of fact, I think there's an August date where she will be in St. Louis. So cool. I am going to definitely go see her and get backstage and talk with her for a few minutes.
Just remember, she's young enough to be your granddaughter.
That's okay. That would never be my intention. I mean, she's a professional and. She's an awesome gal. She's very good at what she does. So what a voice. I mean, fuck. You can't argue with that fucking voice. Okay, this week you got the schedule pulled up, man, for shows?
I don't need it.
Okay, go for it then. Give us the schedule.
All right. Hold on, let me get the schedule. Well, I'll just go with Monday nights is tomorrow. Monday nights, Rob Boyer's Metal Enema Show.
Yeah.
Which Rob's always a good time. Then we got Tuesdays, which is Tuesday is the breakfast, or not the breakfast show, the lunch thing with Diamond.
Diamond, right?
Wednesdays is the Wild Bill show in the morning at 11, and then the most awesome show on the program, the King Guido Hour, and then Thursday nights is Mr. Bad Habit,
Yeah.
and then Fridays is Forget About It Fridays with Wild Bill in the morning and Diamond at night, and then next week on the Conjugal Visits will be.
Oh, that will be. Thanks for the handoff. That was lovely. Simply, Monica Salas, one of our very first. This is like our second female artist that we've had on. As Monica Salas will be on the show, and she is singer-songwriter, and she does writing music for. She's done movies. There's a movie out called The Raven at the Rue Morgue, and she did the song Shadow. She wrote the song for that, so it's in the movie soundtrack for that. So a lot of good stuff there. And then, of course, she's going to be a lot of fun to talk with because she's kind of on the dark side, man. So
This is the one that we were trying to get and couldn't connect with, right?
Correct. So she's on the dark side. She tells me she's usually on Facebook and stuff at night because she's like a vampire. So we'll see how that goes.
Dark side like Eddie and the Cruisers, or
no, more like I don't know how to describe it. I'll let her describe it. So
like
that's something to look forward to. Yeah,
like a goth chick.
Yeah, gothic kind of thing. But she's very pretty and she's got her picture up. And we're going to take care of her. Okay, we'll see her next week. Looking forward to it. I'm going to post some of the music on the event that we have up. I'll put some music on there for us, so you folks can check her out.
I got a challenge for you.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I want you to book DJ Ashbud to a show.
DJ Ashbud, who's that?
He's a lead guitarist of 6 a.m.
Oh well, I'll see what I can do.
And formerly guitarist of Guns N' Roses.
That's right.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, let me see what I can do. I'll hit him on Facebook and find out where his address is, and I'll send him a letter.
That'll be good because, he's got a lot of he was also in a band in the early 2000s called Beautiful Creatures that had
awesome.
Had Glenn, what is the drummer's name?
Glenn Sobel.
Glenn Slobel and the singer Joe, I can never remember how to say his name.
Joe
Listet, who was in Bang Tango. So very good, underrated, out at the wrong time band.
Oh, absolutely. They were early 2000s in the midst of the rap rock scene, slinging like dirty, Hollywood rock and roll, and it just didn't do it for them then.
Right. Okay. Well, we've gone through the schedule. And we've gone through this entire show. You believe it? 2 hours has gone by that fast?
I know. It was actually pretty quick tonight.
Yeah, pretty quick. I enjoyed every bit of it. And I want to thank you both for coming in tonight. And I enjoyed the show immensely, and I'm sure that Linda did too. Don't forget, you can get all of our shows and rerun all of our shows on was it Sketcher? And
Stitcher,
Sketcher,
and Spreaker.
Why don't you spell it, Guido?
And then also on our webpage, www.kgfrocks.com, you can go in and it'll be right there on the front page, right under the regular play button, and you can revisit this show. If you missed any or all of it, come back and check it out, okay? That's just it. We've beaten this one to death. This is Free Ride, and my friend Guido, and for Chaz, thanks for joining us, and may all of your conjugal visits make you come.
It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.